Okay. Right. Are we beginning? Looks like we are beginning. Hey, okay, good. Looks like we've got that nice and started then. Bonjour. Hello. Hello and bonjour once again. Yeah, that's the extent of one's hellos. Hello, hello, hello. Hello to you all. Bonjour. Well, yes, absolutely. Yes, that's one way of saying about it. I mean, it's quite evening-y, but I guess still part of the old jour. And for some people, it's earlier into the jour than for others. I'm watching Chawsey. Go away. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, to be honest, I'd recommend going back to Chawsey. I mean, you could also say that if it's a Chawsey stream, definitely go to Chawsey. If it's a Chawsey video, it will still be there for you when you go back. But I prefer a Chawsey video over this, so wouldn't blame you if you left. So, welcome, one and all, to this. And unfortunately, for some of you, what I'm going to be doing in this is actually only simply something quite simple. And that is just some submission gathering stuff. And the reason for that is that I tried to update Battle Cats, but actually there's an issue. There's an Apple ID problem that I didn't realise existed. So I couldn't resolve that. So we're going to have to do it in the earlier version, which means there are certain things that we can't do, that being the collab and rolling tickets. But there are other things that we can do, so that'll be fine. And to pass a little bit of time at the start, I'm going to do the rare old action of actually upgrading the worker cat inside of Facing Danger, because sometimes you've just got to be that kind of level of madman. We're going to go the whole way, because Old Face is slow and, well, just dormant until you give him a knock on his door. So, overall, we'll basically be fine. So that's alright, really. Right. No need to repeat yourself quite so much. There we go. Oh, good. Chat didn't time out when we did that. Right, okay. Up to level 8 we are. And let's just do that. And that doesn't actually work. I'm not sure why that doesn't work, but I remember now, this doesn't actually work. So you'll see, as we approach the base here, it not working, because usually it's supposed to attack immediately, but for some reason it doesn't here, which is quite weird. Right, well, after all that time, we actually managed to fail, which is quite incredible, but it doesn't really matter, because can we go at it again? Wait. We can, can't we? That's still fine. Like, that's still okay. We can still go back to it, right? Am I correct in thinking that? Silence fell as he waited. Oh! A comment on my Funk and Retro playlist. Loving that. We've got some playlist action there. I love that. That's great. Now, I feel like I very vaguely recognise that artist's name. Is that the one who did the one that's like my favourite song in the entire playlist? We're going to have a look. Let's put the old screen back on. Consult my Funk and Retro playlist, which is enjoyable. Yes, that is my favourite song in the playlist. Oh yeah, well, definitely. I'd just gone through those songs via Was it artsy music? Yeah, that's it. So yeah, I could go via the individual path. Well, yeah. Well, I am somewhat honoured to have here a comment on the Funk and Retro playlist. Who'd have thought? Hooray! Bit of music chat, as it were. A lot of people also talking about things that I don't know anything about. You see there's the attack that I'm talking about that didn't happen before. And I don't know why it didn't really happen before, but there we go. Reggie, how come you're back? I'm back because I was at university before, and now I'm at home, so I can speak to you all. That is purely the extent of it. Right. Okay, so let's reconsult the old missions. So that's just story mode stuff. Cat ticket reward stages. Feel like I did one. No, maybe I didn't. Okay. No XP reward stages around. Gamatoto's just sort of slowly making his way through it. So actually, all that we can realistically do is, yeah, just do another cat fruit stage. I think let's just check where our cat fruit is at. Actually, green would have been better, but we did green yesterday, so I don't know why that's running low. I guess let's just do purple. Fair enough. See if we can get ourselves anything. Doesn't really matter if we don't, because it's just about getting that mission completed. How you beat the Big Bang? Was that the final one of the story mode thing? It's in the video Misato, Queen of the Universe, because quite frankly she is. And I had to actually ask this myself last stream. I didn't remember that is where she appeared. Well, not where she appeared, but where the level was beaten. I'd forgotten if I'd done a video on it at all, but that's where it is. When's the next beginner's guide? Because I'm having trouble with the rest of the craze stages. Well, I'm afraid for now there won't be any beginner guide particularly, but hopefully there will be more, and I can tell you what the next one would be. It would be on the Crazed Lizard. What music is this? It's in the description, the link to it, and this current song is called Airship, and it's by Crinkles, who is a sort of very underappreciated musical artist who makes these lovely sort of ambient songs. And I found them via Izuma's streams, and they're just really rather nice, aren't they? But that does remind me, I do need to see if I can add a sort of the music currently playing is. I don't know if you can get things that sort of tie in with that. Does anyone have any things that do that they'd like to recommend? I'd be happy to look at implementing something like that. I feel like that might be something good to have, because then that would just answer people's questions, really, wouldn't it? And keeps a nice track of it, and is also, I guess, another way of promoting the artist. When is the next video? Well, yes. Thank you for reminding me. That's something I also need to look up. Okay, right. And yes, I do need to consult myself on that. Currently, I don't know, actually. I do not know. In fact, most of the questions going on at the moment are questions that I can't answer myself, to be fair. Right, okay, so purely what we've done is that mission. Bring back the fat rap music. We need the true, authentic stream experience. You see, well, I thought crinkles might be nice in this stream because I'm not up for massively exaggerated speech. And if I speak quietly with but in key and actually sounding good in the background, it just, there would be what you might call a discordance. It just wouldn't seem quite right that there's sort of quiet and reserved moi and then in the background. It just might seem a little bit strange. So just trying to match my tone to the tone of the music. Do you have any tips for the crazed axe and the crazed lizard? Yeah, crazed axe don't bother until you need to do it to unlock the manics, and crazed lizard, well, that's a difficult one. That genuinely is a very difficult one. It's especially useful if you have anything with a huge amount of range, I believe. Anyway. So, as for the missions, we cannot get any more of them done, realistically, other than the event missions, which would mean regaling ourselves with some of the less fun stuff, like Bears Be Back, which, what energy does it start at? 150, so we could do that twice. Don't feel like that's particularly worth it. Maybe we should move over to the Stories of Legend. How's the Latin knowledge holding out? I mean, you know, I occasionally see a word and think, oh, comes from that Latin word. I don't maintain my knowledge, especially, because I've got no exams in it to revise for or anything like that, but it's nice to pull out now and again. We like a bit of the old Latin. I did see you earlier in the chat making the old allusion to where the YouTube name came from, so that was good stuff. Are you safe from copper? Probably not, no. That's why I'm doing streams at the moment. But that does also remind me of something else I said that I was going to do, and these things that I'm just not doing because I'm just basically disorganised. But that's fine, you know. It's not really, but okay. Right, back to here. Should schools close in the UK, Raggett? You see, here's an interesting thing. I got pinged in the Discord. I was actually quite happy for the person who did this. You know, like, yes, you're pinging me a political petition. I'm like, yes, bit of political action. We love that. Bit of democracy. But I personally wonder about the closing of schools from the point of view that all that's going to happen is that these children who would otherwise be milling around together could be milling around together somewhere else, or keeping parents at home, or more worryingly, putting grandparents at risk if schools are closed and the grandparents had to look after them. The grandparents are the ones that we really do need to be looking after, and we're not going to really be able to do that if we do close down the schools. So that's that. I think that's the worry point. Does no school in the UK mean more vids? Not at the moment. But there might be some stuff to do with that. I obviously still need to do my university work, but if it turns out that it ends up being that we're asked to stay home and do the work, yeah, I will be in a better position to be able to, at the very least, stream, definitely. Have you heard about how Boris has plans for herd immunity in the UK? So yeah, herd immunity, for anyone who's wondering, is the idea that if a lot of people, a majority of people, have been exposed to and have recovered from the disease, the disease isn't a problem anymore because it's going to find it really difficult to transition between people because it will keep getting blocked by people who are immune to it. I mean, I think it was actually up until recently, but for example, things like measles, traditionally we've had herd immunity to, which means it hasn't been so big a problem. Flu is different because flu actually keeps changing slightly each time, so people get it over and over again. But things like measles and probably like smallpox and things like that, people have herd immunity to, and smallpox or whatever will find it very difficult to move from person to person because people are immune to it. And that was the idea they were bringing about with the old coronavirus, to get healthy people to get it and recover from it, to build up herd immunity, and so make it less likely that coronavirus can actually transmit into the people who are actually likely to die from it. So that's the idea of it, and that's the benefit of it, that it would save people. But then the argument against it is that, well, you're literally asking people to put their health and possibly life at risk, which is a bit questionable for a government to ask someone to do. I mean, I'm through a brief trial at the moment watching Chernobyl, which I'm enjoying quite a lot actually, and that's the thing in there. We're asking your permission, they said, to kill 3 men, because the only way they're going to save loads of people is to actually get people to go somewhere where they're going to die. And herd immunity is, I guess, a less serious version of that. Do you take the initiative, the slightly dangerous and morally questionable initiative of having people try and build up herd immunity, or do you try and protect everyone and risk the people who are really at risk dying as a result of that? So that's the debate about that, and I'll leave it up to people to make their thoughts clear or not clear on that. That's just, yeah, up to you what you think, really. We're not the ones who make the decisions about it, really. When will the beginner's guide be back on? Can't be sure about that one, if I'm honest. Not entirely sure. Probably not that soon, but at some point. I'm isolated from school for 2 weeks. I've had symptoms. Well, rip to you. Not actual proper rip, but unfortunate rip to you for the symptoms. Hopefully you'll be fine soon. Mr. Matrap, I see you don't appreciate chat. Stream might not be quite the right place to be, but yeah, we can have a look at I guess the easy thing to do would be to just do Bears Be Back, but I don't want to really be doing the Lucky Ticket G stages, because I can't actually update the game because of an Apple ID thing at the moment. I planned and tried to do it before starting the stream, but couldn't do it. Now, Uncanny Legends would require a lot of attention, and I mean, well, maybe actually we are no longer in the middle of chat. I feel like the more in-depth chat just basically ended, which I guess is fair enough. You know, it's just the end of the chat. What about Cats of the Cosmos Chapter 3? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at that. That's something that can be looked at. It's a possible one. Yeah? Good idea. We like that. We're a fan. Okay. We'll do that. That's what we'll do. Okay. So, red rectangle, for example then. Where is, thank you, our general slot? This one? It's not doing too well for this one. What about a different one? What about Egg Nebula? How are we doing for that? Oh, good. We're perfectly alright. Let's do Egg Nebula then. See if we can get ourselves some fancy treasure. That is an interesting point. Yeah, that we're told not to meet in public places or even really stop to talk to people, and then schools are still open. My personal way of doing the policy would be to keep the schools open and to allow people to gather in public, but just advise against it. Which I guess is sort of what's happening. But be more clear that you can let people do what they want, but if they really, want to help themselves, they wouldn't meet and talk. But give people the option, because otherwise I think what you're doing is you're restricting people's freedoms so far that, yes, you're protecting people, but then in a morbid sense, what's the point? Because you have restricted people's abilities to do things so much that they're going to lead really boring and miserable lives. And so you just sort of instead leave it up to people to decide whether their priorities lie in enjoying themselves while it lasts, or going harder on the protection angle. You could argue against that, saying that, well, if people are enjoying it while it lasts, that's putting other people at risk, because, you going outside is not just going to be dangerous to yourself, it's going to be dangerous to other people. So, yeah, that's a fair enough argument against it. I, personally, would like to be able to do things, but also I'm not one for going outside very much. So, as I said in sort of the first stream back, my life is my ideal life is basically lived within self-isolation anyway. And I'd like the freedom to be able to go outside and do things if I wanted to, but I probably won't often go and do things. People that don't have the virus will still attend events, and if they do, then hospitals might be overfilled and they can't treat people that need it. Well, yeah, that's the argument against the freedom point of view, that obviously the virus has the incubation period. People might have it, and then they're going to cause problems if they go to large gatherings and spread it everywhere, and the health service gets overloaded. That's definitely an issue. So yeah, that is the argument against it. How long do you realistically think you can stream Battle Cats before getting sick of it? I don't know, I think this goes back to what I would always say about being measured with it, and not sort of overplaying it in one session, is keeping it fresh and interesting for yourself so that you don't get sick of it. I guess that would be my answer. Right, this level is actually proving slightly difficult, but we've got air out. I'm hoping that will work to our advantage, and we might start being successful. That is the aim. We should get Cronus to have time to come immune to it before getting mutations or something. Oh, yeah? Another point of view, indeed. There you go. Lots of points of views. Right, okay, I'm struggling here. But an assembly in school like a week ago about everyone in one compact place, and there's one kid in year 7 was coughing. What's the entire thing? Yeah. Worrying, indeed. We're really not making any headway here. But yeah. That is true. I mean, from the sort of the cynical herd immunity angle, you could say, well, children are well placed in health terms to recover from it. That would build up herd immunity. But then also what you're saying by that is I wish to condemn children to a period of not very nice illness, which is really not great. And so that is the argument between whether you go for herd immunity or not. Some people would see it as a practical solution, other people would see it as a disgrace to even think about doing. Why would you even consider advocating for people having a miserable time with a disease? It's one thing people inevitably getting it because of the force of nature that the disease is, but a government constructing a situation where you get it? Has your college been closed or switched to online classes? Well, I'm off on the Easter holiday for university at the moment, and I'm awaiting finding out what will happen, if anything, about summer term. So, who knows? Something could happen, something could not happen. I think, the university has its choice over whether it gets students in. So, I will wait to find out about that. If I am at home, obviously I still have all the work to do, but I will permanently be within the home environment, which makes it a lot easier to at least stream and talk to you all. So there's that from that point of view. Oh, okay, good. We can get blue out this time with air at the same time. Hopefully they'll both still be there, and that means I hope that we can sort of kick into gear and be at least somewhat successful. That is the aim. But will the aim be realised into fruition? Successful fruition is what we're looking for here. Spent almost half an hour today going back trying to like all your videos. Ooh, bit artificial. YouTube might not like that, but I appreciate your sentiment. Watching videos of mine that you enjoy with ad blocker off would be the best way to support me. I definitely appreciate it. Thank you, and I hope the isolation period is at least somewhat, well, definitely bearable. I was going to say somewhat enjoyable, but I don't know. I didn't see that playing out. I mean, maybe it'd be nice to think that with a collection of YouTube and other streaming services and linear TV content, you could enjoy yourself. But yeah. In what phase is the old Britain? Well, the old Britain... right, so I think we were in... I get delay and contain the wrong way round. Hey, we won. So I'm not actually sure. I'm not going to even try and remember correctly. But we're in one of those two, anyway. We're mostly about social distancing and self-isolation at the moment. How did the coronavirus start, do you know? I do know. It's not isolation, it's social distancing. No, they're two different things. The isolation is when you have symptoms, and the social distancing is just when you're going about your life, not going particularly near people, but they are both happening at the moment. It was a seafood market in Wuhan, China, in the Hubei province, and they were selling sort of, I think it was sort of like room temperature, dodgy fish, and other animals that really shouldn't have been there, and they obviously weren't refrigerated well, and that was a breeding ground for, well, what eventually turned out to be coronavirus. And so that's what started it all. Hence it starting in China and sort of being exported is probably not the right term, but moved out from there. That was the origin. Have you washed your hands? Yeah? Yeah? I do be like that. I've also brushed my teeth, but I know that's a general health thing, and that's not particularly helpful for coronavirus, but I have also brushed my teeth. So, Gregory. Okay, right, good. Excellent. Hello, my chap. Oh, splat. Did you sing happy birthday twice? No, I've got to be honest. Look, I wash my hands, but I get wrinkly hands very easily, and it sends shivers down my spine at the thought of washing your hands for 20 seconds at one time. I definitely do wash my hands, but I don't think I could wash them for that long at a time. I equally don't go outside. So just to put that out there, I'm not, hopefully anyway, transmitting anything to anyone, because I haven't really had an opportunity to. But I do wash my hands anyway. I don't understand how you can do it for 20 seconds without your hands falling apart. This is different for different people, but yeah, I'll have to graciously admit my personal flaw in that sense, that I cannot bring myself to wash hands at any given time for that long. Do you work out at all indoors? Ah, I see. Yes. No, absolutely not. No. A recent sort of train of thought that's reached me is that I'm no longer annoyed at myself for forgetting something and having to run down the stairs and back up the stairs again to collect and move something, because that's all exercise. So I enjoy doing that because it makes me feel better about myself that I've exercised. So there's that. I do have Ayres Trueform, I believe. I'm just not using it at the moment. I can't remember why, because there's a long time that I haven't been playing Battle Cats in. But yeah. Indeed. I do have that form. It's just not here with us at the moment. Yeah, if someone who likes going outside, I can imagine isolation is not fun at all. As discussed, it'd probably be fine for me. But yeah, for other people, it's not going to be a nice experience at all. But you know, there's exercises you can do within the home, but it is indeed annoying not to be able to get fresh air and that sort of thing. Huh. Oh. Do you have Bora or Volta? I have Volta. I do not have Bora. Bora being the red one, if I'm correct. Is that true? Am I correct there? What do you think of toilet paper? Well, it's nice, isn't it? Nice to have. Oh, good. A little bit of treasure. That's nice. Right. Unfortunately, cool first time seeing you live. Yeah, usually I apologise for the quality of the stream when people turn up, but this should be of decent audio and visual quality. So I do hope you have enjoyed it. Your first live appearance. You have a garden. Oh, well, that's good. I didn't know if... Well, I assume you're allowed out in the garden. I guess I just never thought about that. Just because I just stay completely indoors all the time. But yeah, gardens. So, says, when does Reg use Chillcat? Didn't he used to hate it? I did. It's got talents, and the talents made it fairly decent, actually. So that's alright and pretty good. And we might as well sign off the stream within this level. Okay, so I need to go now. So I'm afraid I shall be bidding you all goodbye at this point, basically. So yeah, that'll be it. Interesting chats. Bit of a Corona chat. Interesting chat to have. Relevant, societally chat to have. And I really do have to go. So see you later. And a ta-ra to you all.